Hello everybody, and welcome back to Voice of the Void. It's been a good chunk of time since I've been back because of life, but I have returned. I do apologize if I forget what I've done and what's happened, but I do remember Mike and Kayla, my two curvers. I do remember getting attacked by a orb one time. Right, you're done. What are you? Huh. Feel like there's something missing. So, you... Viewer. Where's... Yellow? I'm gonna have to... Hold on, do you have anything on you? No. You two are... I swear I had it ready. Guess not. Uh... Okay, you are Romeo, and you are Golf. Red, green. I'm missing Delta. I think... Yeah. Ooh, that's a lot of pings. Okay, you're locked. I think I should just go ahead and go out. Quickly get Delta and then quickly come back. I think that's going to be the best plan of action. I do have time. Wait, before I go. Uh, yeah, I think that's good.
I need to put this down in words.
I'm gonna have to move quickly. So, Delta. Before I go, knock you up. I didn't have... Swear I had like a bunch more floppy disks in here. Oh, must be losing it. Let's see, Delta is this way. There should be just a short in and out. Should be at least. That's a hunk of flesh. Kerfer!
Yeah.
Or not Kerfer, Mike.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Mike, my baby boy. Please, do you... Hey, how much power do you have?
Yeah.
No, I'm taking you back home. I've missed you so much, Mike. You just stay there. Oh, he's back. My blue bouncing baby boy. He's back. Damn it. It's a bad floppy. I could send in the signals and then just skip over the satellites. Mike, where do you think you're going? Yeah, I'm gonna skip the... Well, not skip, I could send in the two. It should still count somewhat. It should at least count for something. There's no way Mike has been there the entire time. I've been over to the Delta multiple times. Never have I seen him just laying there. Very strange. Yeah. Let's see. So, to let you know, Mike, you have
Carpet
a
seemed muffled.
baby sister now.
Tim wasn't in the control room. The room was silent apart from the whirling of the fans and the CPUs. I found a clipboard with a listing of all the cameras in the building. All 35 of them. A little light for a building like this.
Oh, wait.
I guessed that was where Tim left off.
Okay, there's something I can fix.
I felt a flash of anger at Tim not even bothering.
CGE. CGE. BHEG. BHEG. AHGE. Ugb. Oh, there's so many of them down.
I looked back at the clipboard.
2.
There was one extra camera
4,
that wasn't accounted for.
0, 6.
I dialed Tim's cell phone.
4.
The flat beep seemed to mock me from the speaker of my phone.
0.
I had a
7.
choice.
6, 8, 6, 3, 3, 2, 6, 1. 9, 2, 0, 3, 6, 5, 3, 0. I'm gonna run a quick calibration.
It showed the same nondescript view of a corridor that could have been from any corner of the building. The camera took in the view down 3 separate corridors in a long, lazy sweep. A T-junction, I thought. That wasn't particularly helpful since I wasn't familiar with the building. The slowly panning camera that I could not control filled me with an unexplained dread. I wasn't surprised to find Gooseflesh up and down my arms.
Yeah, I'm gonna let
Why wasn't Tim picking up the phone?
you recharge.
Where was
Mike.
he?
I'm
My
gonna
heart started
send
racing. The
Kayla.
walls felt like they were closing in on me in the
Oh.
tiny security room. The whole situation felt wrong. The motion on camera 36 caught my eye. It was strange. It looked like someone was turning off all the lights down the corridor in the center of the T-junction. This wasn't quite right. The camera had a low light mode. The lights from down the corridor would have provided enough light for something to be seen down that way. Not this absolute darkness. I twiddled the controls to the camera anxiously. I only caught glimpses of the darkness with every sweep of the camera, but it seemed to be getting closer and closer to the camera. No zoom.
Yeah, I'm going to
I leaned forward,
call
almost pressing
in the drone. Yeah.
What I saw from a distance as a solid line resolved itself into a mass of squirming tendrils grabbing at the floor and walls, pulling us.
Yeah, this in here. Right? No. Yeah, but it blocks up that. So, yeah, right here. So when you come on in, you can see the time.
Always following some Buddhist sutra somewhere or another to keep us all. Chair as well. I could do to tear my gaze from the screen and punch in Tim's number with nerveless fingers. Come on, I chanted to the receiver. The click as the call connected was one of the sweetest things I had heard in my life. Hey, you're here. Tim's voice boomed out of the receiver in the same unnaturally euphoric tones. If I hadn't known any better, I would have assumed he was on drugs. Look, Tim, there's something strange on camera 36. I don't think it's safe there. I was practically babbling at that point, the unnatural darkness on the screen touching some raw nerve deep within me. There's no camera 36. I put them all in myself. You don't sound too good. Camera 36 showed Tim stopping in shock as he saw the inky blackness in the corridor. Against all good sense, he started moving forward towards it. The camera didn't pause at the horror before it, and all I saw next was the empty corridor Tim came from.
There we go.
Look, man, that looks dangerous. We should get out of here. Come back tomorrow when there's more people around or something. My voice echoed in the confines of the room, bouncing off steel racks of hard disks and processors and fans. You don't sound good, boy. You're looking at the cameras, right? I'm coming over. That same maddening tone. He practically leered down the phone line at me. Back to Tim. He had knelt down in front of the inky patch on the ground. He reached out to touch the darkness with one tentative hand.
See how you looking? Bravo.
I frantically clicked at the controls with the mouse. They wouldn't work. Nothing was working. I saw Tim stiffen up and clutch at his arm as the camera moved on. People say things get clearer in a crisis situation. The time slows down. I didn't get any of that. It froze me.
Can I even pick you up? Well then, so we can pick the buck. 70s away. I should probably take you in.
Back to the central corridor, and the crawling darkness again. Just in time to see Tim's mobile phone get swallowed up by the dark. I gaped at the screen. Nothing in the room apart from the whirl of fans and the thunder of my pulse in my ears. But something else.
I should probably check out Keyless Cam.
It's hungry.
To ensure.
It's hungry. Tim's voice still had that crazed cheeriness around it, the tone now taking on a menacing undercurrent. I was so intent on camera 36 that I hadn't noticed the room darkening slightly. The other cameras were turning off, one by one. They weren't being turned off.
Wait.
They were going dark. Just
I
like the
didn't
corridor in
take
camera
out
36.
my meds.
Completely black. No emergency exit lights. Nothing picked up on the low light mode. Nothing but a blank screen and the little symbol showing the cameras in recording mode.
God.
That little symbol. It hit me like a blow to the gut. Camera 36. Tim's phone on the floor while he was still screaming nonsense down the line at me. Camera 36. Impossible to control from the console. Because the camera wasn't recording at all. It was playing a recording. I was stuck, trapped in a cage. In a room filled with eyes, I was slowly going blind as each screen winked out. Terror took on a new dimension. There was no way out. Help. I needed to get help. My breaths came hard and fast as the last of the cameras winked out. I had to do something. Then I saw it. One strand of hope. The slap of my palm on the button echoed in the tiny room like a gunshot. I breathed out a sigh of relief. If I was right, somewhere in an office across town, an alarm would have gone off. Someone in a company very much like mine would be pulling out a list of addresses and calling the police with a potential break-in at my location.
Let's see.
My triumph was short-lived. My knees turned to water as I picked out a new sound over the whirl of the fans and the computers of the room. Insistent sound of scratching at the door to the room. Are you gonna let me in? It's cold and dark out here, and I'm hungry. Tim's voice was different now. Earlier on, it had his usual nasal overtone, but now it seemed dry, with a strange echo to it, like a few people were speaking at once. It sounded nothing at all like Tim. I wondered if Tim's voice was what I wanted to hear from my phone all along, when all I was hearing was this dead, alien thing. There was a tiny crack under the door. There should have been a small sliver of light, but there was only a line of black. I backed away from the door. The sound of scratching grew louder. It filled the room. It sounded less and less like fingernails and more like claws raking on the reinforced door. The screech of something hard on the metal built to a crescendo, and then just stopped. The silence that followed was even louder than the din that preceded it. Then,
where are all
the slow
the signals?
scrap of metal on metal, tumblers and a lock turning. Tim's keys. Oh my god, Tim had the keys. The heavy door swung in. What was outside was nothing. It was like gazing into a deep, dark hole. Except the light from the room should have illuminated the corridor beyond. Instead, there was just this wall of black. Against all logic, the shadows were moving into the room. The inky darkness flowed across the threshold like an ebon tide. I knew I had to do something. The longer I waited, the less likely the chances of escape.
Okay,
I
no,
darted
it's just
forward
not
and
here.
grabbed the door.
Oh, wait.
The black shadows had
It's
already
disappearing.
crept up the door.
It's not worth it.
I saw my hand disappear up to my forearm as I plunged it into the shadows, looking for the end of the door to close it. My questing fingers found the hard edge of the door, and I started to push. It budged, but just barely. I began to lean my weight against the door, breathing harder with both fear and exertion. The feeling of the blackness was far from pleasant. It wasn't cold like I expected. It was warm. The same
Why is my
warmth of a
thing
living
shaking so
body.
much?
My forearm felt the prodding and groping of a dozen squirming fingers trying to grasp my hand, their caresses getting more urgent as the door swung shut. Pain blossomed in my arm as the graspings turned to scratches, and nails dug into my flesh. With a last burst of effort, I managed to shut the door. There was no trace of the
Come on,
shadows in the
Kayla.
room, and only the beads of blood welling up on my forearm stood testament to the horror of the previous moments. The minutes felt like hours while I was waiting for the cops, bracing my back against the door, hoping that whatever was on the other side wouldn't make another attempt to get into the room. I first noticed my ordeal was over when the screens on the console started lighting up with the normal camera feeds again. All except for one. The feed from camera 36 was nothing but a haze of static. I was in a daze as the cops arrived, and I gave them some spiel about fixing the cameras and thinking I saw some intruder before the feed cut out. The residual fear for my ordeal lent some measure of credibility to my story. The cops took me and the night guard on a cursory check of the premises. They seemed as eager to leave as I was, albeit for different reasons. Tim hasn't been back to work for the past few days. The job at the building remains incomplete. They've asked me about it at least 3 times, since I had already gone over the plans once. At first I gave excuses. Eventually I just flat out refused. I knew full well the job wasn't done. On the last sweep of the premises with the cops, I found myself at a familiar junction between corridors. Just at the right height, a bare bunch of wires dangling from the wall. Next to it, a placeholder, written on the wall in chalk. Number 36.
There we go. Oh. Kayla is free. Now hold on.
I was working in a supported living home for people with autism and other mental health conditions. It was a big, old house. 6 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, office, all converted for a supported living and so on. The top floor had 1 bedroom and 1 utility room. The guy in the top bedroom couldn't communicate very well, but was pretty chill. He had a baby monitor in his room connected to the living room so night staff could hear if he needed anything. I started taking night shifts.
Hey, what the hell's
One
up
night,
there?
I heard him talking over the intercom. Hello.
Oh, it's just those
Not
green
fun.
lights.
Don't do. Not fun and don't do are phrases he uses when he's feeling
Sounds seems to be
stressed or
coming from over
pressured.
there.
I went upstairs to check on him.
It's coming from
He was
this
sat up in his
direction.
bed, lights off and staring at his wall. I asked if he was okay. He said yes and lied back down.
Huh.
Okay. 2 hours later, I heard footsteps coming
Okay,
downstairs.
so you're back home.
I figured it must be one of the guys getting a drink. I looked around the doorway. And there was no one.
Here you go. Good work, Kayla.
And then on the wooden floor at the bottom of the stairs in the hallway, I went to check again. And again, there was no one. But I did notice a small bracelet.
Let's do another calibration. Bravo is still not responding. Strange.
I asked the shift leader about it. He said he hadn't noticed who'd claimed it.
Okay, that was
I
weird.
thought nothing of it and got on with my
Everything
work.
just cut out for a second there.
Before we locked the office up for the night, the night shift leader called me over. Said that the baby monitor for the upstairs bedroom had been reconnected because of suspicions that one resident was using the empty room to smoke, which wasn't allowed in the house. I said, no problem. I'll just listen out for any movement. At about 4 a.m., I heard noise on the monitor. It was a faint crackling, almost like someone was stroking the mic upstairs. I stopped and listened in case a resident was trying to sneak into the room again. I heard the door to the room open, then shut. I figured he must be in there again. I went upstairs and opened the door to the room slowly to try and catch him. The room was dark and very quiet. I opened the door fully and turned on the light. There was nobody in there. I got a real uneasy, kind of nervous feeling as I left the room for some reason. I knocked on the suspected smoker's door to check on him. He opened the door about 20 seconds later, clearly having just woken up. All the other residents were asleep. I'd know if they weren't because when they wake up, you know about it. They are not quiet. I was heading back downstairs when the door to the empty room started to open slowly. I froze. That room was empty. I stayed
Oh,
still
sandbox
and
unlocked.
stared at the door for what seemed like minutes. It was open a good 10 inches or so, just held open by itself. I moved my head to try and see around the door.
Might check that out for myself
slammed
sometime.
I thought, okay, that was the wind, right? I checked all the windows and doors in the whole house, twice. None were open, and there were no drafts. I was pretty creeped out, but by now it was 6 a.m., and I only had 1 hour left. So I just finished my tasks and listened to some music. What happened 3 nights ago during my night shift. I got to work around 9:30. Staff and clients were on edge, and everyone seemed stressed. The shift leader told me that one guy, Andy, had been worked up all day and had hit a staff member. Andy was running up and down the stairs now, shouting. He did not want to go to bed. Every time the staff asked him to go to bed, he would either scream or say, Sarah. His key worker confirmed he had no relatives or friends called Sarah. Due to his condition, he really doesn't use names unless it's the name of someone he knows well. The staff inquired about Sarah, and he kept replying, upstairs, noisy. The staff reassured him and told him he needed to go to bed. He looked at me, clearly terrified, and grabbed my arm. I had never seen him like that before. He was staring right into my eyes and said, "You come, help me." I agreed, as I just wanted to get him to bed at that point. We got upstairs to his door, and I went to open it. He cried out and said, "No, you come, help me." I was so confused. He took my arm again and led me up to the top floor. "Andy, this isn't your room. Sarah's room.
Mike
Noises."
Sierra Delta.
I felt my heart drop.
Mike
We were stood outside of the room with the baby monitor now. The room was still empty. Nobody else had moved in yet.
I need
I told him that the room was empty.
a yellow
We should get to bed.
floppy disk. fact, I had like a bunch of yellow, um, yeah, a bunch of yellow floppy disks laying around. I had like 4 of them. Where did they go?
My hands have visibly changed color now. They were all purple looking and mottled. And he kept staring at me. Then, suddenly, without moving his head, his eyes darted to my left. He stayed deadly still, staring. Andy, are you okay? He looked back at me and raised his arms into the air. This is my home now. He emphasized each word I spoke, and did so quite slowly. I was creeping right out now. That's right, Andy. So let's get to bed, huh? He turned around and started shouting. Sarah? 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 Not upset or agitated, just shouting like he would if he were calling for a friend in another room. He started to shout Sarah again, but stopped halfway through saying it and whipped around on the spot. He was staring into the corner of the room now. His face just changed. He was smiling so wide. I had never seen him like this. He started laughing, then turned to me. He tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Look," pointed to the corner of the empty room. Sarah is here now. I looked from him to the corner and back again. What was he seeing? He left the room, and he finally settled to sleep. He's been agitated ever since. Last night was a whole new experience entirely. Since the incident with the room, Andy's behavior has been getting worse. More violent, more agitated. Yesterday he hospitalized a staff member. He's quite a small guy, but can really pack a punch. He has his meds, and everyone does their best to settle him down. Last night, I got to work as usual, about 9:30. Shift leader called me. Started feeding back. I turned it off, then turned it back on, and checked the settings. All seemed fine. There was still feedback noise from the speaker, though. I had to go check the receiver upstairs, in the ghost room. I got to the second or third step on the stairs. Hello. Quiet, very soft voice on the baby monitor. I was freaking out. I didn't know what to do. That sounded like a girl. No one was in the room, and no women in the house right now. I got a sudden feeling of, like, heat in my arms. I thought, what is this now? Screw it. I decided to go up to the room. I unlocked the door and turned the light on. Holy crap. Andy was lying on the floor in the middle of the room. Andy, what are you doing here? How
This
had he
time
gotten
I'm actually
in
going
here?
to take out the
I
stuff.
had the only key, and I had just unlocked the door. As my shift had started, I had seen Andy go into his room to bed. The door to the ghost room was already locked at this point. How had he gotten in there? He sat up and looked at me. Suddenly, I got that same cold feeling again. Sarah wants to go home now. I didn't even respond. What do I say to that? He stood up and pointed to the door behind me. Sarah wants to go home now. I opened the door. There was nobody out there. As I turned back, Andy charged at me. He full-on tackled me into the wall. He was screaming, his nose about an inch from mine. His eyes were so wide and bloodshot. I pushed him away and restrained him.
Okay, there we go.
I got the other service users back to bed and headed into the kitchen. I heard a kind of rustling noise on the baby monitor again now. I called the shift leader over. Listen, that's upstairs, in the room. He sighed and headed upstairs. I stayed
Yeah, it's a
downstairs to
strange
keep an eye on
pyramid
Andy.
I saw.
Suddenly, the shift leader shouted out, "Jesus Christ!" I ran upstairs to find him on the floor in front of the ghost room door. I helped him to his feet. He was frantic, trying to lock the door. I asked him, what the hell happened? He was pale now, shaking. He could barely catch his breath. I swear there was a person in the corner of that room. I got him to explain more. He said he saw the shadow of someone hunched over in the corner. The same corner Andy kept pointing to. He said that the door kind of blew shut with such force that it knocked him to the ground. I turned around to see Andy peering through the gap in the railings on the stairs. We acted normal to try to get Andy downstairs. He was staring at the door to the room. Sarah's hurt. The shift leader and I looked at each other,
Yeah, no,
both
no,
thinking,
it's not
screw this,
perfect
without
sense.
actually saying it, I guess.
It's
Andy
fading.
pushed past us and started hammering on the door. Not again. He was beating the door so hard, not screaming, not saying anything, just pounding at the door. We pulled him off, and he ran away downstairs.
Oh.
He'd put a hole in the door, and now his hands were bleeding. The shift leader was starting to freak out. He went to call the manager, as I tended to Andy's hands. Once bandaged, Andy just smiled at me and said, "Good night," and calmly walked upstairs and got into bed. He didn't seem to be in pain or anything. He just happily went to bed. This morning, as part of the incident report, we interviewed Andy. The manager searched the room, which is apparently company policy. She came back downstairs with that bracelet I found in hand. She asked, "Why was this under Andy's pillow? Is it his?" Obviously not. It was blatantly a girl's bracelet. He had obviously taken it from the notice board and placed it under his pillow. Thankfully, my shift ended just after that. I've got 3 days off now, but I'm still feeling pretty shaken, to be honest. I'm thinking of maybe setting up a recorder or something in the room when I get back to work. Any thoughts? Maybe try EVP or something? I've never had a paranormal experience before this, so I have no idea how to approach the subject. Any advice?
Yeah. Okay, so I still can't save for some reason. See, it's 4 in the morning. Let's see. I can't spot anything on the cameras. I have to do my job, so I will have to go outside sooner or later. I just gotta be ready to move fast. Alright, I've already activated him. Yeah. Delta, I know is going to be places I need to go. Delta Sierra. Mike, I think. I'll just check my paper sheet once I do. I can just check my paper sheet once I get to Delta. Still can't save. Strangely enough. Delta Sierra Mike. Yep. Wouldn't the sun be going up by now? 6 in the morning. It's Delta done now. Mike and Sierra. Mike and Sierra. Mike is just over there. Also, I'm a bet it's because of corrupted Kurfur I can't save. we go. How we looking on? Ooh, fuel not looking too hot. Could have brought backup fuel. Let's see, red for Mike. What was... Oh, okay. Another dead deer. Yep, Mike. Now it's just Sierra left, I believe. I'm just gonna nope out of here. Oh, Sierra is far away. There you go, Mike. Oh, they do. Oh. Alright, Sierra is the one that's over here. Come on. Almost there. Come on. There we go. That took a lot of fuel. After this, I'm gonna quickly make my way back to base. Yep, green. Oh. I'm gonna do a ping. Just to be safe. Yep. Only a Tango Victor. Yeah, they should all should be good now. Dilf Hotel. Yeah. Where's Mike? Oh, he may have tried. There may have been one back at base. He may have just failed. And Mike went back to base. That feels feels most likely to have happened. Since he didn't come to me, nor did I get the pop-up that all servers have been fixed. Well, I'm gonna just go back. Whoop-de-doo. Do a barrel roll. I'm definitely turning that into a quick short. May have not been so smart to go across the river, considering the nuclear material I have laying on the ice. I hear you. Oh. Have you done this, Curfer? No, Curfer, Mike. Jeez Louise. You're a wrecking ball. No, 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 no. No, no, wrecking ball. Like that. Okay, guess I was holding the whole computer. Yeah. Still can't save, huh? Okay, I'm worried about what the hell that could be. Yeah, I'm well aware about the fact I can't save. Huh. Definitely not ominous.
My apartment was exactly what you'd expect from a cop who spent more time at the precinct than at home. The wallpaper peeled at the corners like old skin. It might have been blue in another decade, and the persistent smell of mildew suggested the plumbing was older than the landlord cared to admit. It wasn't much, but it was my refuge from the chaos of New York City, my own run-down castle. One lethargic Sunday afternoon, as the city exhaled the heat from the relentless August sun, I stood on the fringes of my small bathroom, scrutinizing my reflection in the faded mirror. I needed to shave, my beard a rough map of the past stressful week. As I nudged the mirror to get a better angle, it shifted slightly, revealing a corner of yellowed paper tucked behind it. Curious, I pried the mirror further open. It creaked in protest.
Oh jeez. This room has definitely seen better days. Oh, it's in you. Huh. 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 Yes, I believe it's Mars. Ooh. Are you the moon, perhaps? Huh. Hmm. There we go. Still tilted from the impact. The hell?
Sharp and demanding, overtook my hesitation. Flashlight in hand.
Still can't pass. And I still can't, yeah, still can't save. Huh. Don't see anything over there. Usually when it's corrupted curve, it will be over there somewhere. Voice crack. Still, it will be somewhere over there. At least it will be close enough that I could see it. So it might not actually be a corrupted curve for causing this.
It's eerily quiet. No announcements, no clattering of trains. Then I saw them. People, or rather figures that resembled people, each dressed in period attire, their faces blurred and indistinct, going about their business as if I wasn't there. I remember the first rule: do not make eye contact. Lowering my gaze, I observed them.
Huh. Another one of you.
Here was a handful of coins, old and tarnished. Do not take what is not dropped. The rule echoed in my mind. These were dropped, so it must be fine, right? I picked them up, rationalizing that it was worth the risk for proof that I wasn't hallucinating. With one last wary glance at the stern-faced conductor, I turned back to the tunnel to realize it was sealed. I placed my hand on the wall and felt nothing but cold, unyielding stone. I remembered what I had to do and scanned the scene until I saw a track with a train.
Yeah, I'm well aware about that.
I had escaped the station, but the station hadn't quite left me. As I stood, shaky and disoriented, the weight of the coins in my hand was a solid, undeniable confirmation of the night's reality. The portal was real, the rules were real, and I had a fistful of evidence. The first trip through the mirror tunnel left me both exhilarated and terrified. The coins I'd pocketed, a handful of pre-World War II nickels and dimes, were tangible proof of my unbelievable journey. As morning light seeped through the grimy windows of my apartment.
Now finished all of my tasks, I believe. Only problem is I still can't save, which is not good. Take all the stuff I can out of here. This will get me some sort of money.
Colleagues took notice, especially when I started showing up with new watches and unexplained cash. Rumors started. Whispers of evidence tampering, or worse. Rick Dalton, a fellow detective and supposed friend, confronted me one day in the locker room. "Hey, Johnny, you hitting the casino these nights? You got the look of the man who's found a gold mine." "Just some good luck on a few bets," I deflected, uncomfortable with the scrutiny. Rick raised an eyebrow, but didn't push further. The conversation, however, heightened my paranoia. I knew I needed to be more careful. The call of the coins, the whisper of the wind through the station, was irresistible. One afternoon, after pocketing a particularly rare find, a 1941 Liberty half-dollar, I decided it was time to lay low for a while. I had enough stashed away to ease up, but as I turned to leave the station, I felt a chilling gaze on my back. Twisting around, I saw the conductor, standing far down the platform,
now I got time.
staring directly at me. My heart skipped a beat. Had I been too greedy? I quickly averted my gaze and rushed to a platform with a train just starting to accelerate. Jumping in front of the approaching train, I braced for the now familiar jolt, only to awaken in my bed, sweating and shaken. The room felt colder, the shadows deeper, and as I clutched the Liberty dollar, I realized I had crossed a line. The game was changing, and the rules might not protect me much longer. The precinct was bustling, the air thick with the usual blend of coffee, anxiety, and determination. I felt the weight of eyes on me as I navigated through the desks, my recent financial uptick not going unnoticed among my colleagues. Whispers followed me like shadows, each murmur a thread weaving a net of suspicion. Rick Dalton finally cornered me near the water
Sure
cooler.
that nothing
His
is
expression a
broken
mix
or
of
anything like
concern
that. I'm gonna
and
head on
curiosity.
out to the
Johnny, can we talk? He asked.
the entrance place. Forget what it's called. Cause last time when I had this no save and I went there, it seemed to allow me to save. I don't remember which way. So if you're there, I believe it should be yeah. Or no? No. I came from that direction, no? Huh. Another one of these tiles. So strange. So very, very strange. But yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Now remember. Yeah, the entrance to the park, if my memory serves me right, is over there. Because I really want to be able to say, oh, there's Corrupted Cursor. I really want to save because I don't want to drag out these videos too much. I can't really end without saving. Oh. I went far enough from the base and so it would save. Now I have a good feeling that my problems are because of this little fella. But I do have a quick fix taking care of them. Come on, don't fight it. Come on, you little shit. Don't fight it. There we go. Now I should no longer have any trouble with that thing. If it's now, it's just gonna be stuck there. Then it can't go anywhere. Which means I'll be free to save as much as I like. So now I'm just gonna head back to base. Finish up what I was doing. Before. Looked like it was a pine cone on the ground there. Hey there, mannequin. Out of the way. Let's see, was I correct about my theory? That it was corrupted Kerfur all along. Seems a lot like it, because now I can perfectly save around the base. Oh, they shoot. Yep, now I'm back home, safe and
I
sound.
could only watch as every spectral figure turned towards Lucy, their faces contorted in a collective
As
rage.
always, I hope
I'm
you
sorry,
enjoyed.
I didn't mean to,
And see
Lucy
you
whimpered,
guys in the
her
next
voice
one.
small and broken as the ghostly crowd advanced, their